and make sure you got a clean piece of paper because you're going to get some great information. Life is about making decisions, and it's about, there was great saying, you'll be the same 5 years from now as you are today, except for the books that you read and the people that you meet. And there's nobody better to meet than our next guest, which is the incredible daughter of Charlie Tremendous Jones, Tracey Jones, the head of Tremendous Leadership, and she's here with us today. Good day, Tracey.
Hello, Tremendous Keith and John and everybody online.
Well, we're so glad to have you here, and I know you've got some great things to say. Now, Tracey happens to be the publisher of that fabulous book written by John Solider, and Moving Up 2020. So, Tracey, I know you've got some things to share with us today.
I do. Thanks so much. And it's a joy to be on, to get invited back to share with this group of people. As Keith introduced me, I recently earned my PhD in leadership. So I'm quite passionate about leadership. And what I really consider leadership is just living a really tremendous life. And Keith and John brought it up that my father said that you're going to be the same person 5 years from now, except for two things: the people you meet and the books you read. And so that's why it's an honor to just share with people like you all that really get the value of interacting with people and expanding your knowledge base and reading and publishing great books. So I just want to take just a couple minutes and give you a really helpful tip about a personality profile that I found. We've probably all taken DISC and Strength Finders and Myers-Briggs, Standout, you name it, I've taken them all. I enjoy taking them because I like to increase my self-awareness, and we all have our biases, assumptions, and blind spots, and a lot of times we don't know what we don't know. And so I'm really big into these tests. But my PhD was in crisis leadership, which, by the way, is coming in really handy about right now. And what I did was I studied an organization that went through a merger that got really nasty. And in the end, they pulled it out. But what I did was a case study, and I interviewed the followers and leaders, and I said, hey, what did the leader do that really encouraged you to stay on ship and not jump and bail? And then I asked the followers or the leaders, what did the followers do to encourage you? Because you guys know, building an organization, leaders need love too. And we need encouragement as much as our team does. And when you get this wonderful connection where you are co-leading and supporting one another, that's a truly tremendous thing. But as I was doing my research, and you go into these things and you kind of have these hunches about what you think you're going to find. And one of the hunches was something that the leader did or said is just going to have everybody rally and go, that's it, I'm all in, it's all hands on deck. And I found something really kind of just the opposite. What I found is that the resilient, adaptive people before the crisis, when the crisis hit, guess what? They were still resilient and adaptive and tremendous people. And I found the people that were kind of insecure or unsure or negative, when the crisis hit, they were even more insecure and negative. And I started thinking, my goodness, leadership is really so much more about understanding personalities, because some people may not consider themselves a leader, although we really all are. We're leading our lives, we're leading our health habits, we're leading what goes in our head, we're leading our finances, we're really all leaders. And so as I studied this and interviewed these people, I realized that a lot of times a crisis does not make the leader. The leader was already a leader before the crisis. What a crisis does is it brings the leader to light. And for people that really are struggling and having a hard time, they're probably were struggling and having a hard time before. So what I want to share with you is this personality profile called the Big Five. And why it's so important is as you are growing your team or you're shuffling your team, because anytime there's a big event like this, it's a wonderful chance to really reevaluate, you know what, who's all on board and who's not. We've been sequestered, shelter at home. I think this is the end of the 7th week, long time, okay? But it's also given us all a great amount of time to really get clarity on what exactly we should be focused on. And stuff that was pre-corona may not emerge on the other side, and that's never a bad thing. because you want to take the time and get clear on it. So there's a test online, and it's free, and you can take it, and it's called the Big Five. The Big Five personality test. And the Big Five, there's an acronym that stands for the Big Five, 5 letters. And the acronym is OCEAN, like the ocean, going to the ocean. OCEAN. And when people take this test, they'll see where they fall on the spectrum of each of these 5 personality traits. And I had just heard about this in my doctoral studies, like I think it was 3 years ago, and I sure wish I would have heard about this before because it's so simple. I even wrote a kid's book about it because I think the earlier we understand our personalities and that they can be adapted to create a more tremendous version of ourselves, the more we own our futures and we become better students and better friends and better leaders because we're all works in progress. But if you don't think you can be developed, then you're going to have this really static personality, and life's going to be tough because when you come across unexpected things like a pandemic, you're not going to be able to navigate and change and evolve and adapt. So this Big Five personality trait, I'm going to go through these really quickly. And like I said, if you Google this online, you can find out more about them and take this test. And it's really interesting with your team. So the first one is O. And O stands for openness to new experiences, okay? Now, what we want to do with the first 4 traits, they're positive traits, and you want to, as you get older, up your score in these. And the last one I'll say to the end is the one trait that as you get older, you actually want to decrease. So openness to new experiences. As you're building your team, the landscape has changed out there, and you're going to be finding people that are going to be looking around and saying, you know what used to be there is not there anymore, and I have to recreate and reinvent myself, my sense of income, my health habits. And are they open to new experiences? Are they open to trying your product? Are they open now to going from being just a user to actually building the business? And if they are, then this is somebody that you can bring on board to develop and bring up the ladder. But they have to be open to trying new things. And it's a wonderful thing. Anybody in business cannot be risk averse. And you're going to see a lot of entities come out of this virus pandemic way stronger than when they went into it. Okay? There's going to be some that don't make it, but there's going to be some that look at this and say, you know what? It is what it is. There's no sense crying over spilt milk. We are going to adapt to our new future. Nay, we are going to create our new future. Okay? And I would say, you guys know how I feel about this. I sent a lot of you an article. Health is the future, okay? And if people are open to finally accepting ownership for their health, as we all should be, because no amount of stimulus money is going to make you better or healthy. Own your health. If people are open to that and really stepping up to the plate, they're wonderful to bring on your team, share your product with, have a discussion with. So that's O. The second trait is C, conscientiousness, all right? And we all know it's the new common denominator of success. The only difference between a failure and a success is that a success has made a habit out of doing the things a failure doesn't want to do. Okay? John talked about it with the 10 penny principle. It's brilliant. It's all about calls. It's all about doing your due diligence, doing the ins and outs of the day-to-day things that you need to get done. So if you've got people that love the product and are willing to build on the systems and the processes and the tools that you give them, excellent. That's a wonderful person to bring onto the team if they're really going to be conscientious about it. And you can help them with that, with laying out, you guys have already done the hard work. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Show them the way to network, to close a higher volume of sales. Show them all the different sales principles of who they should be data mining for. Those are all great things, and it'll help them achieve success. And the more success you get, the more all in you are. So that was O is openness. C is conscientiousness. E is my favorite term in the whole word, extroversion, okay? And another word for this is enthusiasm. And it's different than being an extrovert, okay? You've heard extrovert or introvert. And for those of us that are kind of a little bit of both, we're called ambiverts. I'm a 51% extrovert and a 49% introvert. So I'm just as happy being out on the road, but you know what? This quarantine, I love this too, because I love being home and being able to withdraw and re-energize and then connecting with people like this. So extroversion is something slightly different. You can be an introvert and be very high in the trait of extraversion. So just like there's ordinary and then there's extraordinary, There's a version, there's a version of yourself, and then there's an extra version of yourself. And that is what extroversion is. This is this atmosphere. Atmosphere doesn't come out of nowhere. Somebody has to bring in the atmosphere. And when you're out and you're creating this draw to people, that's what you're doing. You're giving them this hope and information and helping them make sense of all the stuff going out of there. And they're getting drawn to this. You know, they say some people brighten a room when they enter it, other people when they leave. Okay. Extroversion is those people that just, they create that charisma. My father wrote that book, Life is Tremendous. And the tagline was, enthusiasm makes a difference. They're enthused with the theos, the imago Dei, the Spirit of God. You're just this light in this world of craziness and darkness and fear-mongering right now. Be the light. So that's extroversion. The fourth trait, openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, is agreeableness. You, especially us in personal development and dealing with customer service and dealing with people one-on-one, appealing to their heart, that's all your emotional intelligence, your empathy, your compassion. And people are scared right now. And the more you can help them monitor their distress and help them understand that you don't have to live in fear. You can be bold. Being bold doesn't mean you're going to be reckless, but living in fear is no way. You can catch a disease of the mind. You can die from stress and all these other different things that happen from operating out of that. So agreeableness is this wonderful empathy and compassion that when people see that, they're going to be like, hey, that person gets me and that person is genuinely concerned about me. So those four traits, OCEA, you want to slowly be growing in. And the more great people you meet and the more tremendous books you read, that ups your quotient. The last one, N, stands for, are you ready? Neuroticism, which is a really fancy word for negativity, which is another word for stinking thinking. Okay? Negativity, when you have people that are high N, as I call them, and that's better than telling somebody you have a crappy attitude. I tell them, you know what? You have a high N personality. They're stressed. They're argumentative. They start fights. They gossip. They're insecure. They think people are out to get them. They ruminate about the past. I have a friend that said to me the other day, oh, Tracy, I'm so scared. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to leave the house. I feel like I should lock myself in a closet. And I told her, well, go ahead and do it. Okay? It's a free country. You can do that. All right? But this negativity is going to hold you back from doing anything in the world that you can. I've been to war. I've been all over the world, serving, eating weird stuff, getting weird shots, being in dangerous places. Why? Because I don't focus on the negativity. All right? I balance and manage my risks. And I control what I can control. And then that ups my extroversion. All right? So that is the 5 personality profiles. It's called the Big 5. There's free online tests. And I hope you guys, as you're growing your business, you find people that are open, that are conscientious, that are extroversions of themselves, that are agreeable, and that are really low in that negativity. Now, we're all human, and I read the news as well as you do, and I drill down into it. But I'm telling you, the more you develop your critical thinking skills and the more you unpack the negative things you hear, the more you're going to get to the truth underneath them and you're going to be able to manage what you're hearing. So I hope today that those 5 principles really help you as leaders as you build your team. Remember, you want to find people that have this resilient nature already within them because resiliency is like character. When the going gets tough, if you have character malformations, that's what's going to come out. Find people that are resilient, that are open, and build your business with them. And you are going to see you're going to get the right people at the right time for the right reasons, and you're going to be helping them, and it's just going to continue to grow. And we're going to come out of this stronger than we ever could have ever imagined. All right? So thank you so much with that, and thank you for the chance to share with your teams.
Well, Tracy, we thank you very much. And once again, tremendousleadership.com, tremendous leadership. And Tracy will share at the end of the webinar here today, John's book and the bundle you have put together. But, you know, Tracy, your dad was such a treasure, and obviously the fruit didn't fall far from the tree there with you either, young lady. Thank you, tremendous, Tracy, for being with us.
Thank you all.
All right, John, back to you.